And we welcome you back right now to KCBD Now. Kirk Kaiser with you on a Monday morning. My guest today is Junior Vasquez, Junior longtime Lubbock musician. We've been discussing the early days of being a musician. Started when he was 10 and has just kept going all these years. Junior, you mentioned playing different gigs around town. You've talked about a couple of places. But let's talk the life of a local musician. You're playing, you mentioned you got 2 gigs this week, and some are regular. Some aren't. You've played such a variety of different types of things, haven't you?
Oh yeah, and as a full-time musician, you learn to
Get that
find.
down. We can't see your pretty face.
Get you,
There we
you
go.
learn you learn to find, and in different types of gigs. Like I play at Carillon every now and then.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
and they love music over there, man.
Yeah.
I love playing for those folks over there, and some private engagements. I do this year I've done 3 already high school reunions, 50-year high school reunion, a 40-year high school reunion, and and a lot of private engagements, and of course all the restaurants. Every Wednesday I'm at Fuzzy's on 102nd and Slide, and then on Thursdays at least once a month I'm at Triple J's, and this coming Friday I'm at I'll be at Anna's Mexican restaurant if my
Okay.
finger
Yeah,
allows
finger
me.
providing, yeah.
And I doubt I'm going to make Wednesday, like I said. But yeah, I mean, I play 4 nights a week, and I've been doing that now for probably pretty solid for the last 15, 20 years.
Now, it's different, I'm sure, playing in a restaurant where you are the background entertainment to playing on the stage where people are actually there to see
To
you.
listen, right.
People are there to eat and to listen to you.
Sure.
It's different, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a totally different ballgame,
Yeah.
and I call it and I thank each and every business owner that's if you're listening or if the word gets out, and I try to let them know as often as they can that I said I know for myself, I speak for myself, but I think I speak also for the majority of the musicians in town, that we appreciate you guys allowing us to come and and bring this what I call added value,
Yeah.
to their customers, because they don't charge cover at the door. You know what I'm saying? So they pay us off of their the money that they make from selling their products.
Right.
Their food, et cetera. And so they don't have to have us there. For the most part.
Sure.
I mean, because we are in the background, people aren't there. Some people come specifically; they come to listen. But the 90% of the people, I would say, venture to say, 90% of the people that are there, or maybe not quite as much, aren't necessarily there. They're there more to eat
Yeah.
than they are to listen to the music.
Right, right.
We're just there, like I said, as added value. So they could just have some recorded music if they wanted. But there's something about having live music, and some interaction going between on occasion you'll have some interaction with the people, et cetera. But the majority of the time you're there, just to provide that background music. Don't be obnoxious. Don't turn up too dang loud.
Right, right.
Don't get drunk on stage and all those kind of things, because you represent the restaurant.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate just the each and every place that I play at that giving me the opportunity to do that.
And you can even have requests for different things that
Oh,
people
sure.
come up and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
people have seen you before.
Oh
played
yeah,
some
and
songs.
people will come up there and they'll say, "Hey, I came up there tonight because you were playing here."
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going
Right.
to eat and listen to the music, But again, like I'm saying, like at Triple J's, if they're crowded all the freaking
Oh,
time,
yeah,
right?
all the time.
So we're over there by the bar, kind of in the corner,
Right.
and I guarantee you that 90% of the people walking in there, they don't. I mean, yeah, they'll say, "Did you know who's playing here? Did you come in?" I don't know. We just came here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's okay. That's what it's all about. But again, it's that added value, the customer will whether they'll acknowledge it or not, or whether they'll realize it or not, that puts a certain feel,
Sure.
to the whole atmosphere inside the restaurant.
And then Abuelo's is a little different. In their courtyard, they've got an actual stage. I mean,
Yeah,
you have kind
sure.
of more of an area. You're not just
Right,
in the
right.
corner.
Designed for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And same thing with same thing over like at the Funky Door, where they actually
Right.
build a stage for but the majority of the other places is like, they find you a corner, you go play in that corner, which is still fine. I mean, because I know and I understand that people are there not to come listen to me per se. So I'm not, I'm not going to get, all offended if somebody's not listening because they're not.
If everybody doesn't clap after every song.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, the thing this has happened more often more often than I can probably voice is that just when you think nobody's listening, nobody's paying attention, which is okay. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I've been doing it for many, many years now.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. There's been many times where somebody would come afterwards or on the way out and say, "Hey man, I appreciate singing tonight. That song you sang a while ago, the one that I thought nobody was listening to, and I messed up and I thought, man, that doesn't sound very good," or or whatever. And that's the song that come up and they drop in a $50 bill. They go, "Oh man, that song was great. Thanks for playing that song."
Yeah.
And I go, "Oh, that'll learn you, boy.
Yeah.
Just do what you're supposed to do. Do your best. Doesn't matter if you think anybody's listening or not. Do your job, and you're going to get rewarded for it. And some nights are better than others.
And God's got a plan.
Amen.
Yeah.
And so I'm serious. This happened many times throughout my career.
Well, it's funny you said that because I've done a lot of plays at the Cactus Theater over
Yeah.
the years, and I have my favorites and I have my least favorites, and I'm not going to tell you what my least favorite is, but my least favorite was a certain play, and this lady comes up to me in the post office and says, "Hey, I loved watching you at the Cactus. You know what my favorite show was?" And I'm like, "No," and she mentions that play. And it was really hard for me not to say, "Really?
What?
Are you serious?"
Yeah.
I hated that play.
Yeah.
I didn't hate any play.
No, I know.
But it's just funny how that works.
Yeah. And so there's all kinds of places, and we appreciate the opportunity to
Absolutely.
in Lubbock, and at any given time, and especially during the weekends. I mean, there's well over between 20 to 30 different venues that has live music. Mickey and I started this website called LubbockLiveMusicScene.com.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
And you can go to that website and it tells you who's playing. It's LubbockLiveMusicScene.com. And on a given weekend, you can go on there and you can see, who's playing where, what time, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just amazing how many places have live music.
Yeah.
I think per capita, Lubbock is probably up there in the top cities as far as per capita how much live entertainment they have.
Oh, I would think so. And people often don't appreciate how blessed we are in Lubbock to have the great variety of talent we have. And there's so many that have, of course, Buddy Holly was our most recognizable, who
Right.
left Lubbock and went on to national acclaim. But there's others who've gone on to national acclaim. But there's others who maybe haven't gone on to national acclaim who are still local favorites. Lubbock's a great place to play music, isn't it, Junior?
Oh yeah, and it's play music and produce music and produce artists, all those kind of things, and there's just this foundation. There's this solid rock foundation of musicality that's been here from the 40s,
Yeah,
50s,
yeah.
60s, 70s, and there's always been there's always been musicians, singer-songwriters, bands that have that laid that foundation and then continue to build on that foundation that never left or left and came back, and that is what keeps people always wondering, what is it? That's the major part of it. Is this there's a lot of us, myself included, several other guys and gals, that decided to stay, and that some of the younger people that are coming around have built upon that foundation and keep building that foundation to make Lubbock what it is. And that's why you see all this music coming through and people coming through, the blue light and, all those other things that people come through here and they claim to, Lubbock as their home, and then, but without that foundation, though, none of that I don't think would have happened or continue to happen. So there's all these unsung heroes, I call them, pillars of the Lubbock music community that I don't think get enough recognition for maintaining that foundation.
Yeah. Junior, we talked about God having a plan, and I know for a fact that God is a big part of Junior Vasquez's life. He's wearing a cross today. That cross is not just decoration. He is a man of God who believes in his faith very strongly. And in fact, for a while there, Junior, you had your own church. You still do a lot of things with churches and host church events. Your faith has been a very important part of your life, hasn't it?
Oh yeah. My wife and I committed our lives to Jesus in 1981. We had heard the gospel through some other friends of ours that were our age, and that they had they had an encounter with the Holy Spirit, and we saw some changes in those people, and we thought, interesting, And I was raised as believing in God. I was raised in believing in Jesus, And I didn't come from an agnostic family or an atheist family or a non-believing family per se. We weren't churchgoers per se, but there was some seeds were planted along the way. My uncle was one of them. My uncle was a believer. He planted some seeds early on when I was 10 or 11 years old. That's another story for another time.
Yeah.
How I came to my faith and how I came to that point in time in 1981. But anyway, there was a climax and when we made that that encounter, and we knew that was a route that we wanted to take. So we've been believers and followers of Jesus since 1981.
And you had a church at one time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My wife and I, and we had a little. It was called the Gathering. We met out at the Spirit Ranch for almost 13 years, up until a couple of years ago. But we were in the ministry for over 40 years, and we were music ministers, contemporary Christian music ministers for over 40 years in different churches, and helped a lot of churches establish when the contemporary Christian music came in, when they were arguing and trying to figure out, contemporary, no, traditional, no, blended, yes, and guitars, no, yes, drums, no. I mean, we were right smack in the middle of all of that. We caught the tail end of the Jesus Revolution. And so we started doing contemporary Christian music, and right around that time, in 1981, 82, 83. We were worship leaders at this small little church in 1983, doing the contemporary Christian stuff at that point.
Yeah.
So we were kind of pioneers in this area in that aspect as well.
Right. You've done so many different things. We've talked about, or we said we were going to talk about jingles. Haven't done it yet, so I wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
But another part of Junior Vasquez is writing jingles, and you've done that for how long?
Over 20 years now.
Over 20 years.
Yeah.
And for those, I think everybody knows what a jingle is, but talk about some of the ones that people automatically recognize, that when you say the first line, they will finish it.
Oh, yeah.
What are some popular ones?
Well, probably,
that you've done?
the one that's been the longest has got to be Carpet Tech.
Right.
If your home is in a wreck, call
Carpet Tech.
Yeah. Then I had, one of the ones that was also real popular back in the day was Lujan's.
Right.
Lujan's. And then Sparkman's Nursery. By the way, we have trees. And those businesses are no longer around per se, but say what Carpet Tech is. And then just Roof Master, Comfort Masters.
Right.
Building Blocks. Leslie Sawyer sang that one for me. We're building lives at building blocks.
I love one of my favorites is one of the newest, and that's One Guy from Italy.
One guy from Italy, family, friends, and flavor.
That's it.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Yeah, and that one, and then I've written this year alone, man. I've done 7 or 8 already. 4 of them in Amarillo, and a couple of them here in Lubbock. 3 of them.
Well, and
here in
it's
Lubbock.
memorable for businesses because they get their name in there with a cute little song that stays in people's brain, and that's what you want. You want brand awareness when you're talking about advertising, don't you?
Oh yeah, brand awareness, and one of the easiest ways for people to remember and memorize things is music. Music has this innate thing about it that crosses all kinds of boundaries. It crosses all kinds of cultures and et cetera. Number one, period. But music, people remember melodies and music and song lyrics a lot of the times before they remember anything else.
Right.
Or they memorize things. How did we memorize, the alphabets? We sang it A, B, C, D, right?
Yeah.
And and just think about all the jingles that you memorized or learned about, or even just a song that you're familiar with. Any kind of song, and everybody loves music for the most part.
And I know Barry Manilow got his career start doing jingles.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And he's done a lot of them, like a good neighbor,
Yeah.
Farm is there.
Yeah.
I am stuck on Band-Aids, and all those that you've heard from years and years
Yeah,
ago. They stay with you.
Oh, yes, they're just the power in music,
Right.
And so I learned that again and I was thinking about it. I think it was 2001, 2002, so almost 25 years now since I did my first jingle, and that was one of the first ones was Carpet Tech. But anyway, I kind of found the knack for it, and so and it's still effective, even though people aren't watching as much as they used to local TV and as they used to, obviously, but nowadays with the combination of local TV as well still, and now with social media,
Right.
now you can actually run a full 30-second jingle on social media, and they weren't doing that up a couple of years ago, and just recently they started incorporating, a full-blown 30-second jingle or 30-second commercial embedding them in social media.
Right, it's been a
So
part of
now, so that I think it's coming back around again. The jingles are coming back around again. So, and people are seeing it, and that's why more and more people are interested in
Yeah.
jingles. So if anybody's interested, I definitely.
You can help them out.
I
And a
could.
lot of times people are not as annoyed by the jingle as they are by a regular commercial. They like the
Yeah,
jingle.
yeah,
They think
yeah.
It's fun. Here it comes again, kind of like your favorite song. So now I've seen the entire process from beginning to end with Junior. You meet with a client, you pick their brain about things that are important to them, things about their business that stick out. If they have a slogan, you may run with it. If they don't have a slogan, you'll make it up for them.
Right.
And you then write a jingle and explain the process you go through.
Yeah. Basically, just try to match number one, the lyrics as to what it is that their business is. And specifically the slogan if they don't have one, or their little catchphrase.
Yeah.
And then from there, also try to match the music with what kind of business it is per se. Like an example, I wouldn't do a heavy metal, jingle to like that building blocks store.
Right.
Building blocks.
Or a funeral home.
Or if you know what I'm saying. So you match the music, and along the way, also if the business owner has an idea of what they think maybe they would like their jingle to sound like, I'll visit with them in that respect as well. If they think, I would like for my jingle to kind of sound like this song or whatever, and then I'll work with them in that respect, and we'll try
Right.
to find that nice little blend of the direction they want to go with the jingle, and so I work together as much as or as little as the decision maker, wants, and then. One step at a time, get the lyrics, get the melody, get the style of music, and then I come back and I'll play what I've come up with me and my guitar. I'll say this is what I come up with, and this is what it's going to sound like. It's going to sound like the Doobie Brothers song. It's going to
Right.
sound like Jason Mraz or whatever. It's going to sound jazzy or rocky or whatever. And then once we decide the lyrics are good, the melody's good, the style is good, then at that point, they sign off, and then I go to the recording studio, and I start recording it.
And just to let people know, we talked about AI earlier. Junior doesn't use AI. He doesn't use a standard jingle for everyone. You write original. Every single one you've
Oh, yeah,
written
it's an
is
original.
an original, is a
Sure,
Junior
sure.
Vasquez jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't steal from anybody.
No, it's all,
Yeah.
unless somebody wants a jingle to sound like another song. I've had some people say, well, man, I want to use this song. I
Right.
said, well, if you want to use that song, it's going to cost you $10,000 minimum for 1 year. If you want to use, a song that's already.
And they say, no, I don't really want to use that song that bad.
Exactly, and that's it. But I can write something that kind of sounds like that, something in the same vein, something that kind of sounds like it, but I'll veer away from it to where, and they won't sue me and they won't sue you for plagiarism or for copyright
Right.
infringement, from using somebody else's melody, because you can get in trouble for doing that.
Sure.
So
How do people
yeah.
find out more about jingles? Where do they go?
yeah, well they can go to I have a website, therealjuniorvasquez.com, therealjuniorvasquez, and I also have. I'm all over social media.
Right.
I have a couple of Facebook pages, a music Facebook page, a personal one. I have an Instagram page. If you just type in Junior Vasquez Lubbock and just do a search like that, of course you're gonna see my first name, Calistro, which I've been using quite a bit of that here recently as well. But if you just type Junior Vasquez and then Lubbock, because if you don't put Lubbock, there's another Junior Vasquez out of New York.
Ah.
He comes up before I do, but not much anymore. Not like he used to
that
at first.
right?
Yeah, I'm building.
You ever met him?
No, I
No,
never met
okay.
him. So I'm
So
building.
that's why you're the real.
I'm the
Junior
real
Vasquez.
one. Yeah, that's my real name. His real name is Donald Mattern. What the heck?
No, you're not a Donald, I'll tell you that right now, Junior.
yeah.
Hey, Junior, we're going to take another break, but when we
Okay.
come back, we're going to have a quick fire round and ask you some either/or questions just to get to
Sure,
know Junior
and I
more,
would like
okay?
to show
Yes,
my
we're going to
album.
mention your new album.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. So we're visiting today with Junior Vasquez, Junior local Lubbock legendary musician, has been doing this for a very long time. So excited to have him in our KCBD Now studio, which is actually the KCBD newsroom, as you see behind us. So we'll be back in just a moment with more of Junior Vasquez. We'll show you the new album that he and his wife Mickey have been working on, and we'll also bring him the quick fire round to find out a little bit more behind the real Junior Vasquez. Back with more on KCBD Now in just a moment.